Hello, all you beautiful people. My name is Kayla, and thank you so much for joining me here for another video. So today's class is going to be a little bit different because we'll start off by talking about chakras. So if you already know all about chakras, feel free to skip through this part of the video and leave off when the yoga class starts. So to keep it simple, chakras are energy centers or energy vortexes located within the body. And basically we have 7 main energy centers or 7 main chakras. And there are many more energy centers located in the body, but these are the 7 main ones that we're going to cover. So chakra comes from the Sanskrit word wheel. And the way that I interpret the meaning of this is that we need each chakra to sort of turn the wheel in our life. So if one of my chakras is out of balance or out of harmony, or many of them are out of balance or out of harmony, then that's holding me back in some way. It's slowing the turning of the wheel. So we practice healing our chakras, opening our chakras, channeling our chakras to get us to where we want to go so that we can live life with our full potential and be our true authentic selves. So I'll start off by quickly listing all of the 7 chakras. It starts at the base of your spine all the way to the crown of your head. So the first chakra is called the root chakra. And then we have the sacral chakra, which is located about 3 inches below the navel. And then we have the solar plexus chakra, which is located about 2 inches above the navel or belly button. And then we have the heart chakra, which is located in the center of the chest. We have the throat chakra, which is located in the center of the neck and the throat. And then we have the third eye chakra in between our eyebrows. And lastly, we have our crown chakra. So the first chakra is called the root chakra. In Sanskrit, it's called Muladhara, and it's located at the base of our spine. When this chakra is in harmony, we feel a sense of stability, grounding, we feel secure. When this chakra is out of harmony, we may feel disconnected, or we may be moving through life from a place of fear. We may be dealing with some insecurities, or we may have an identity crisis, or feel as if we don't have purpose. So the second chakra is called the sacral chakra. In Sanskrit, it's called Swadhisthana, and this is the chakra responsible for our creativity, intuition, and sexuality. So when this chakra is balanced or in harmony, we have a deep sense of intuition, whether that be almost knowing something's going to happen before it happens, or having a very deep understanding of something. We're very creative, so whether that be singing in the shower, or journaling, or making art, etc. We also have healthy relationships, especially sexual ones, because we are one with and we understand and we own our sexuality. When the chakra is out of balance, we often don't get too creative. We lack intuition. In fact, we don't really even know that we have intuition within us. And we also have trouble expressing our feelings and emotions to others, which then leads to stagnant emotions manifesting in our body, which can then lead to suffering. And lastly, we may feel insecure about our romantic relationships or within our own bodies in terms of sexuality. The third chakra is located 2 inches above the navel, and it's called the solar plexus chakra, in Sanskrit pronounced Manipura. And when this chakra is in harmony, we feel a balanced connection between the material and spiritual world. When the chakra is out of balance, we may feel the need to dominate and control. We may feel an overextension of the ego on our lives, so placing too much importance on things like appearance or status or wealth and things like that. The fourth chakra is called the heart chakra. It's located in the center of the chest. The Sanskrit word is anahata, and when this chakra is balanced, we can cultivate joy with ease. We love ourselves and others with ease. We have a deep sense of compassion, and when this chakra is out of harmony, we often feel as if we don't love ourselves, as if it's hard to give love to others, and we may develop depression due to a lack of connection with ourselves and others. The fifth chakra located in the body is called Vishuddha in Sanskrit. It is the third chakra located in the throat. And when the chakra is balanced, we feel a strong will to live, to pursue our passions and our dreams, and listen to our inner voice and speak our truth. When the chakra is out of balance, we may feel disconnected with ourselves or out of alignment with our true selves, and we may even feel as if there's nothing really to live for. We may also feel silenced or judged or taken advantage of. The sixth chakra is called Ajna in Sanskrit and is the third eye chakra located in between the eyebrows. When this chakra is balanced, we feel a deep sense of awareness, intuition, and inner wisdom. When the chakra is out of balance, we may only exist in our physical forms. We may put a lot of value on intellect without engaging in our spiritual reality as well. Featuring my cat here for the last chakra, which is the crown chakra in Sanskrit, Sahasrara. When this chakra is balanced, we understand that we are all connected, all humans, all beings, animals, nature. We can elevate our consciousness whenever we need to, and we understand that our identities reach far beyond physical form. And when this chakra is unbalanced or blocked, we may feel disconnected from the source or whatever higher power you may believe in, whether that be the source, the divine, a god, or the universe, or whatever you want to call it, whatever your beliefs are. So you can interpret that in any way you like.
Coming to a comfortable seated position, I'll lead you through a flow that's designed to open up and channel each of the chakras from the root chakra to the crown chakra. You can place your hands on your knees, open your heart, close your eyes, and take some nice cleansing breaths here. Begin to turn inward and then start to roll the head and neck, making circles, lengthening through the sides of the neck. And then when you're ready, switch directions. Drawing the circle with the crown of your head. Finding length in the side of your neck. And then inhale and exhale, roll the shoulders up and back, creating space between your jaw and your shoulders, making room to breathe. And then when you're ready, come onto all fours, widen your knees so they're about mat width distance, feet together, and then lean back into a child's pose, letting the chest hang heavy in between the knees. Focus on your breath here and breathe into the lower back and any other places where you might feel stiff or tight. On each exhale, surrender deeper into the pose and feel gravity doing its work. Resting your forehead on the mat and tuning into the body here. And when you're ready, flip the toes underneath and come up to standing for a forward fold, hinging at the hips and finally bowing the head down. Maybe bend one leg and then the other to get a nice stretch in the hamstrings. Here we are opening up the root chakra. We feel a sense of grounding here. Maybe grab opposite elbows in ragdoll and take whatever motions feel good for your head here, maybe nodding your head yes or shaking your head no. Then come back down onto all fours for some cat-cows. Making sure that your wrists are stacked underneath your shoulders and your knees are stacked under your hips. On an inhale, arch the back And on an exhale, round the spine. Inhale, gaze shifts, back arches. Exhale, spine rounds and head turns inward. Here we are channeling the sacral chakra. It is characterized by fluid-like movements or transitions. And when you're ready, start to introduce some hip circles. Drawing circles with your bottom and moving through cat-cows simultaneously. Arching the back and rounding the back in a fluid-like motion with your hip circles. Lubricating the spine here, preparing ourselves for the rest of the practice. And when you're ready, push back into a downward dog, walking out your dog if you feel some tightness, lengthening through the shoulders and creating space, and then moving through some spinal waves here. On your next exhale, lean forward into a plank-like position and then begin to arch the back and push back into a downward dog, moving through these fluid-like motions at your own pace, following your breath. And then push back into a downward dog. Walking out the dog again if you still feel some tightness. And then coming to stillness. On your next inhale, lift the right leg high up to the sky. And exhale, bring the knee to nose and plant that foot in between the hands. Making sure that the ankle is directly under the knee. Drop your back leg and inhale, lift the arms up over the head. On an exhale, bring the arms out into a warrior two position. Inhale here and then exhale, flip the hands for reverse warrior in low lunge. Cartwheel the hands down to the mat to frame the feet and gradually shift your weight to your front foot, eventually lifting the back foot off of the mat for half split pose. You can stay here or lift up the left arm and open the chest to the side, half moon pose. Engage the core here, and if you can, shift your gaze and turn your head to the side as well. If you're in half moon pose, bring down that left arm and return to half split pose. And then step back into a plank position. Inhale to prepare, exhale, lower down chaturanga. Inhale, cobra pose. Exhale, downward dog, pushing through the shoulders. Inhale, the left leg comes up high to the sky. Exhale, knee to nose, and then plant that foot in between the hands. Drop that back leg, lift the chest, and inhale, arms come up over the head. Exhale, arms come out into a warrior two pose. Flip the hands and reach your hand to the bottom of your thigh as the other arm comes up and over the head for a reverse warrior-like pose in low lunge. Whenever you're ready, cartwheel the hands back down to frame the feet, and then slowly start to shift the weight to your front foot, eventually lifting off the back foot into a half splits pose. Stay here or lift the right arm high up to the sky, twisting your chest and your gaze to the side. When you're ready, step back into a plank position. Inhale to prepare, exhale slowly lower down into chaturanga. Inhale, cobra pose, exhale, downward dog. Inhale, lift the right leg high up to the sky. Exhale, plant that foot in between the hands. Inhale, warrior one. This time the back foot is off the ground. Exhale, warrior two. Stay here for a breath, and on your exhale, bend deeper into the pose. Flip the palms face up for reverse warrior. reaching for your back thigh as the other arm comes up and over the head. Cartwheel the hands down to frame the feet and step back into a plank position. Chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward dog. This time, lift the left leg high up to the sky. Exhale, plant that foot in between the hands. Chest lifts first and rise for warrior 1. Exhale, warrior 2. Staying here for a couple breaths, and on each exhale, bending a little deeper each time. Inhale, flip the hands. Exhale, reverse warrior. Reaching for that lower thigh as the other arm comes up and over the head. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down into a plank position. Chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Making sure the back is flat here, creating space through the shoulders once again. Coming back to plank pose and holding it for a moment here, and then start to walk the hands to one side and flip over for reverse plank. If this seems too difficult, you can get into reverse plank by just coming out of plank pose, making sure to not let the bottom sag here, and that we're creating a straight diagonal line with our bodies and opening up the heart space. In a seat with your knees bent and feet flat on the floor, with your hands resting by your hips. And on an inhale, lift the feet off of the floor with your legs still bent and arms straight out in front of you, engaging the core here and channeling the solar plexus chakra. And whenever you're ready, bring the legs to straighten, holding the strong pose here and taking 2 soft breaths here. Making your way to recline onto the ground, come back to the breath, bring your awareness back to your intention, whether that be healing, stillness, grounding. Place your arms out beside you. On your next inhale, lift the bottom up for bridge pose. Once again, creating a sort of diagonal line with your body, lifting the hips high and creating space in the back. Engaging the glutes here, maybe placing your hands under your back for extra support. Option to come into full wheel pose. If not, you can feel free to stay in bridge pose. And we'll all meet back down on the ground, bringing the knees in to hug our body as a neutralizing pose. And then start to rock and roll until you gain the momentum to stand up at the top of your mat. Finding a seat on your shins, sit up, and then bring your left hand to your left ankle and circle around the right hand to meet the right ankle for camel pose. Channeling the heart chakra here as we practice some heart openers. And as we do this pose and these next few poses, invite some love, gentleness, and compassion into your hearts for yourself and all others. Circle that hand out of camel pose and come find a seat on your shins. Then push back into tabletop, plank, and downward dog. Holding here for just 1 breath. And on your next inhale, lift the right leg high up to the sky. Flip that hip and flip your dog for wild things, reaching for that back wall and opening the heart. Flipping back over to downward dog. We'll take a chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale and lift the left leg this time high up to the sky. Flip the hip. Flip over on your dog for wild things on the other side. Once again, opening that heart space and reaching for that back wall. Come back into a downward dog and move through your vinyasa, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, and push back into puppy pose, like child's pose, but with your bottom off of your heels and your chest drawing towards your mat. Reaching out as far as you can here and feeling an opening in the shoulders. We'll take some ohms here to channel the throat chakra. Inhale. Inhale. Coming out of puppy pose, we will all meet in a reclined position on the mat. So go ahead and lie down, flat on your back. Extend the legs, and then start to wiggle in the shoulders, one shoulder at a time, until you create some space between your back and the mat. Letting your heart open, feeling the energy radiating to and from your body. And then when you're ready, bring your knees in, straighten them, and maybe using your hands for support, come into a shoulder stand. So your body and legs are making a straight line. If this is too difficult, feel free to come into waterfall pose with the back on the ground and the legs straight up in front of you. Then come back into plow pose, leaning your legs all the way over your head. And stay here or come into knee to ear pose, bend the knees so that your knees are hugging your ears. Using your hands here for support, then slowly coming out of it and rocking and rolling until you gain the momentum to stand up at the top of your mat. Coming to find a comfortable seat on the shins, and here we'll practice some candle gazing. So if you have a candle, take the time to light it now and put it in front of your mat. If not, just find a spot to focus on. We'll start to practice some alternate nostril breathing as a way to channel the third eye chakra. The third eye chakra is channeled through contemplative poses like candle gazing or alternate nostril breathing or any asana that makes you turn inward. So exhale here, and on your next inhale, use your right thumb to close your right nostril and inhale through the left nostril, and then close the left nostril with your fingers. Moving through each inhale and exhale as you alternate fingers and closing each nostril. Practicing this sort of breathing promotes well-being and lowers stress and anxiety by lowering the heart rate. So whenever you're feeling anxious, you can feel free to use this technique as a way of meditation or coping with any sort of anxiety or a related illness. When you feel ready, push back into a child's pose, wide-legged so knees are met with distance and the soles of the feet are touching. Reach out far and let gravity drop your chest to the mat. Closing your eyes here, coming back to your intention, looking inward and noticing how the body feels in this pose. Breathing into any feelings of discomfort. Observe its presence without judgment, and just continue to focus on your breath. When you're ready to come out of child's pose, push through a tabletop and then downward dog. Pushing through the shoulders to get a flat back, and then either step or float to the top of your mat, maybe walking slowly to get a nice hamstring stretch on the way up, and folding forward here. Inhale, come up to standing and use the opposite side of your mat for a wide-legged stance in a straddle pose. Then bind the hands behind your back and start to lean forward, letting gravity take hold of your arms, feeling an opening in the shoulders and a release of tension in the back. Then bring your hands to the mat, either your hands or your forearms or your head, and then start to walk your hands back behind you and pull the floor in towards your body. And then heel toe the feet back together and come to standing. And then make your way back down to your mat and find a comfortable seat on your shins. And here you can take rabbit stand, which is the prerequisite for a headstand, or you can come into a full headstand if that's in your practice. Making sure either way to engage the core and hold the weight of your head in your hands, and finding stillness wherever you are for our final pose of the class before Shavasana. In this pose, we are channeling the crown chakra as indicated by the use of the crown of the head in this posture. Gently coming out of whatever pose you're in and finding a comfortable reclined position on the ground for Shavasana. You can use something to cover yourself like a blanket, or I'm using an eye pillow to cover my eyes. You can place your hands facing up for receiving energy, face down for grounding, or one hand on the heart and the other on the belly to focus on your breath, letting all thoughts pass naturally, understanding they are only visitors. And on that note, I'd like to share something I wrote with you. I'll have all the time in the world when I start living in moments and stop living in years. When I stop living through what the rest of my life might look like, only to look back, wishing I had done less wandering and spent more time experiencing. Please feel welcome to stay in Shavasana for as long as you'd like. If you're ready to come out, start to wiggle the fingers and toes. Bind the hands together, reach them behind your head, and take a full body good morning stretch. Then roll over to your favorite side using your arm as a headrest and the other hand by your chest. Staying here for a moment and then lifting up, coming into a comfortable seated position. Taking a couple breaths here, reminding ourselves of our intention one last time. On your next inhale, bring your hands up to rise above your head, meeting the palms together in prayer pose. Bring your thumbs to your third eye. The light in me honors, sees, and loves the light in you. Namaste.